They're all a bunch of fat asses in there with no lives, and they're all broke, and they hate us, and that's just the way it is.
You know, they're in orange jumpsuits in jail, looking like Al-Qaeda terrorists. It's not right. None of this should be happening. It's very, very evil. It's very, very wrong.
The Matrix. Fucking ever heard of it. 12, 13, 18, 19,
because if you would put yourself in a big dark room, in a big dark stadium, and turn it pitch black, one person lights a match, another person lights a match, another person shines a light, and all of a sudden, that darkness becomes bright. And in that brightness, the enemies of truth and the enemies of light, the cockroaches begin to flee.
How could this be? And it's
Right.
like, okay, the UK is behind it. Okay, extradition law isn't in our favor. We had to, explain it. But what, they're really going to keep us in jail? How come anybody hasn't come to help us? We've stood up for everybody. We've stood up for politicians. We've stood up for presidents. We've been vocal. You know, we have been like some of their biggest advocates. How come they haven't come to help us?
Well, guys, we are back here once again with the one and only top goober, good old Andrew Tate. And fuck me, every time that I think that this little arrest situation and all of the shenanigans going on with it just can't get any more ridiculous, all of these Tate meat riders somehow just end up finding a way to make things even more stupid. Like, I thought the peak was gonna be the one dumbass trying to fly his drone up to Andrew's window and getting arrested for it, while at the same time, Andrew is just having his lawyer go absolutely nuts with all of the posts on his Twitter, where he was crying about anything and everything and completely dropped the Alpha Male Act. But it appears that that was nowhere near the peak, but was just the beginning of the downright goofiness and stupidity. Because not only has Andrew just been continuing to have his lawyer post anything and everything on his Twitter account, where he had what I can only consider to be a little mental breakdown all of a sudden, where he went on a very long and angry rant on Twitter about how the Matrix is apparently attacking him, and how, like cockroaches, they exist in the cracks and hide from the light, before then kind of divulging into how he's upset that people aren't fully supporting him, and he's mad about people who are saying, I don't know if he did it, or it's strange that all of this is happening to him. And apparently anybody saying that isn't a real adult man, and instead, if they were a man, they would be saying that this is a setup, he is being framed, and Tate is being set up. So it's pretty much just him yapping and complaining that he's not getting enough support, and he doesn't want the half-ass support. And he basically ends his little spiel by saying that anything less than 100% support is just sabotage, so you just need to believe every word he says and take everything for fact, and how this is all just a setup and he's being attacked by bots and all of the usual shit, and people just need to fight while they can and fight like men. So clearly, he is not doing too great, and is even now getting mad at a bunch of his supporters because they're not good enough supporters. But the craziest part about this is, he is not the most ridiculous part of this entire situation, because somehow, by some insane miracle, he has managed to find a lawyer that is rivaling him when it comes to just being a jackass, looking like a dipshit, and constantly embarrassing himself. I don't know where he found this guy. I don't know what inspired him to hire him with all the money he apparently has. But if this was the best he could buy, he is fucked. Because his lawyer is out here just trying to do everything and anything and is desperate as hell, and is posting AI pictures to try to stir emotions and try to get people fired up, where he's talking about how the Tates apparently got gassed in their cell, or how they're getting heavily supervised by cameras, but is also himself just crashing the hell out on Twitter nonstop, where he's just getting mad and constantly calling people midgets for some reason. That's like his favorite insult to go to. I don't know how tall this guy actually is to be saying shit like this, but apparently everyone else is just a midget. And when he's not doing that, he's constantly spamming these posts talking about 1776 and the revolution and no kings and rejecting the King of England and all this other crap, acting as if he himself is leading a revolution and as if this situation with Tate can relate at any level to what happened back in 1776. Like, I don't know how he's trying to spin this angle, but he's doing everything he can to do so. And along with this, he promoted a new little, I guess, protest for the Tates to be free, where he got the Fresh and Fit crew to help him promote the thing. And only a day ago, they were out here in the streets marching and trying to show their support for the Tates, where they had a whopping like 30 to 50 people come, and it was some of the most pathetic shit I've ever witnessed in my life.
Free top G! 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 Free
Andrew Tate is not, as far as I'm aware, he hasn't been proven guilty of anything. He has not been convicted. So I'm here to defend a man who defends men all around the world.
24, 25, 26.
And alright, motherfucker, you cannot be out here trying to do push-ups to protest the Tates and try to get them free and just be doing these quarter-ass reps. I don't even know if that was a quarter, but as you can tell, they were very dedicated to the cause. Like, we had all of the taint simps out here ready to lick his taint and do anything to try to protect him. And the thing that I found really interesting about this is the fact that Tate's lawyer was all up in this shit the entire time. Like, I'm pretty sure that this man is just in it for the attention and is loving every second of it, because not only was he in the middle of all of the free Top G bullshit where all of the fanboys were getting after it.
Free Top G! 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 Free Top G!
Yes.
Free Top G!
Yes.
Free Top G!
Free Top G!
Free Top G! Free Top G! Free Top G! Free Top G! Free Top G! Free Top G!
But I shit you not, this guy right here, this bald bastard, was out here signing people's shoes like he was LeBron. He was enjoying all of the attention and clout so much, and there was somebody pathetic enough to bring him a shoe and have him sign it. Like, I could not believe what I was seeing.
Put them on your shoulders. You'll be able to see them.
Wouldn't be the first time.
So obviously he was eating the shit up, and he was just getting started. Because after they sat there and screamed free Top G and did a bunch of push-ups for some fucking reason, I don't know why, they then got all up in a circle, and the lawyer got all excited to hang out with his buddies fresh and fit, and started just going on a random ass rant about how the security guards weren't letting him in, and they're brokies, and he's just trying to do life checks to make sure that Andrew and Tristan aren't murdered. And it's just like telling these stories, and you can tell that he's feeling himself and that he's just feeling it now that he's getting all this attention from all of these men who are here to try to rescue their poppy.
When's the last time you got proof of life? Last night. Last night. Wasn't it? Yeah, last night. Have you been able to see them? The first time? No, we obtain proof of life every time we go see them. Okay, so you still see them? Yeah, no, we see them. We see them all the time. They didn't let me in last night, right? They kicked me out again? Yeah. There's this fat guard in there who doesn't like me. Every time he sees me, he's like, oh, you're 1 minute over, you got the wrong pants on, you got the wrong shoelaces on.
Bring him some Little Debbies or something.
Yeah, I should bring him some Twinkies.
BOP is miserable, bro.
Yeah.
It's BO prisons, they're miserable, bro.
Bring him some Twinkies.
Alright, hold on, I just gotta pause it. I can't help myself. I know that you're not talking over here with your goofy ass glasses, buddy. Like, who are you? Why do you keep popping up? And why are you standing behind Myron like you're about to try to hump him? The man is trying to be so involved that he is like dick to butt with him. Over here having the audacity to be trying to include yourself in this and talk about Little Debbies and shit. Everyone else is sitting there quiet, and this goober, he's getting interviewed, he's doing everything and anything.
And then the captain came down last night, and he was looking in the eye like he wanted to hit me with a billy club. I said, are we okay? I said, man to man, you understand, I'm their attorney, I have a right to be here. Like, you understand that we're litigating for them, and you understand that we're going to shine a light into this prison. And this, that, this, all fat gut hanging over his belt. They're all a bunch of fat asses in there with no lives, and they're all broke, and they hate us, and that's just the way it is. So we're going to continue to go in there, we're going to continue to show up. They don't like me, they like Thomas, they don't like me, I don't like them, he's a lot nicer than I am, and that's okay.
And yeah, as you can tell, I don't even think this guy's in it for the Tates at this point. I think he's just in it for himself and is loving all of the energy he's getting and all of the meat writing he is getting just by being the Tates lawyers. He's even starting to talk like them and shit with this ego boost that he's getting. And it was still not over, because since he had them all there, he decided that he needed to give a speech where, of course, the Glazers were making sure to cheer and clap for him, and where he was just saying all types of shit. He was talking about how Andrew and Tristan actually wanted to go face the allegations and lean into the law when they were doing the opposite, and how apparently they're the Osama bin Laden of grape, and just all types of goofy shit, and all of these clowns around them are eating it the hell up.
But Andrew and Tristan Tate are built different. And on top of that, they have the spirit of innocence inside of them. Nelson Mandela famously did 27 years of incarceration in solitary confinement, never changed his tune, and never broke his spirit, and never gave up because he was innocent the entire time. Innocent men don't give in. Innocent men don't run from the law. They run to the law. They lean into the process. They threw the kitchen sink at them, and they drummed up every lie that they could, every lie on earth and every lie in hell, in order to make these two guys look like the Osama bin Ladens of when they are nothing like it. They are innocent. They are gentlemen. They are goodness. They have a world of people who depend on them for all types of things. They are fathers. They are sons. They are uncles. They are brothers. And they are best friends. And God damn it, they are American citizens. Yeah! But the presumption of innocence means that you are innocent as a newborn baby, that you are as innocent as Jesus Christ, that you are as innocent as your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, who sits home at your kitchen table and hasn't done anything. Imagine the government kicks in your door, takes out your grandma, takes out your brother, takes out your husband for a tweet, for an allegation. And now you're sitting in the gulag, and now you're sitting in the cell with roaches, with rats, with drunks, with no sunlight, with guards who hate you, with the system who hates you, with the government who has betrayed you. And all you have is the people out here and your lawyers, and God is on your side.
Yeah! And it is actually so ridiculous that it's comedic at this point. Like, I cannot believe I'm witnessing a bunch of men who, in the middle of the day, during a weekday, must have nothing better to do besides being out here gassing up Andrew's lawyer as he tries to compare Andrew Tate to Jesus and tries to say that they're in a damn gulag. They are not in a gulag. This is actually so incredibly insane and so entertaining at the same time that I don't even know how to feel about it. And it's still not where all of the pathetic, desperate attempts end, because he also just recently went on a little podcast, because as we all know, this guy wants attention, and started out by talking about how he's a bear and how he was what the Tates needed, which was a bear or lion or some shit like that.
The brothers saw me across social media, mainstream media for a few years. Their team members saw me and said, hey, listen, you need a guy who's going to go out there and be a lion and a tiger and a bear. There's going to be no half stepping with with how they're coming for you, and this is the guy for the job. So I met them. It went great. They're like guys I grew up with, long lost brothers, if you will.
And they then followed this up by proceeding to bitch, whine, moan, and complain about the apparent conditions that the Tates are in, where he was just yapping about all types of shit, all of the complaints we've seen from Andrew over the past couple of weeks, where he's crying about the shower water, nail clippers, and all of these other really minor and pathetic things. And all he's basically doing is just try to create some type of, emotional argument to where you apparently feel bad for the Tates. And he just wants you to think that they should be freed from this, even though he's probably the one who pushed for them to be in protective custody because he was worried about their safety, and they probably wanted to be in the shoe in the first place. And he just wants you to want them to be out, even though the process and investigation isn't finished.
It is a violation of your civil rights if you are held in the kinds of conditions that they're being held in. They've been in administrative segregation since July 18th. They have had 5 hours of sunlight. They have had no access to commissary. They don't have access to basic things like toiletries, like nail clippers and shaving and proper things to clean themselves with. Neither of them have a pillow. Neither of them have they're sleeping on some kind of iron bed. Neither of them have a blanket. They have like a sheet. Neither of them have a chair to sit in their room. Neither of them have clean drinking water. They have to drink horrible water out of the faucet. I look up and you know what's there? A camera. A camera in my attorney-client privilege meeting. And they say, just trust me. We're not recording anything. Let me tell you, I don't trust you. No defense lawyer in the world, no good lawyer in the world would ever trust you. There's bodies and tons of litigation around this issue. When it comes to convicts working on their appeals, never mind people who are being merely held for detention. So their rights have been violated across the board. FDC is incapable of housing two men like this. They have businesses to run. They're innocent until proven guilty. Their charges aren't even American. They're from some despotic regime in England. And by the way, we're getting ready to go to trial in a case that in Palm Beach that they need to prepare for. But you've locked them in this cell to try to break them, to try to get them to just say, you know what, just send us away, just send us to England. We'll deal with it there. Maybe it'll be better. They're never going to break. They're built different. So these guys aren't going to break, and we're going to do everything that we can do to get them out because they should not be in this type of environment. Mold, roaches, rats, drugs, violence. It's crazy. It's crazy that what they've been subject to since the 18th of July. And it's very, very wrong. And love them or hate them, this shouldn't happen to anybody. Especially when you're just being merely held for administrative purposes. And, we're the only ones who can see them.
Oh,
so
wow.
they're not allowed to see them. They're not allowed to talk to their mother. They can't see their children. They can't
Wait, really?
Oh, nobody. They're cut off from everybody. There's no access. There's no email. There's no phone calls.
Wait,
it's just us.
What is the legal premise to allow this to happen? That seems crazy to me.
They're using their celebrity as a justification to keep them in administrative segregation where you have no rights and no freedom and no daylight.
And at this point, this is basically this guy's only argument, and maybe he should spend less time hanging out with all of the Tate fans in the street and more time actually preparing a defense for them. Because all he is doing is constantly just crying and complaining as well about the conditions they are apparently in. I mean, when he's not doing it in the podcast, he's even just constantly posting about it like this right here.
They're drinking shower water in a 5x7 cell. If that, they don't have a chair. So if Andrew wants to sit down, they have like a concrete stub. Obviously, who the hell wants to sit on that? Andrew's 6'3", Tristan 6'5", and the beds aren't big enough. So Tristan's got to sleep like sitting up half the time. They don't have the ability to turn the lights on and off. There's not proper ventilation. They've been out a total of 3 days since they've been in. They've been given 1 hour each day. So that's a total of 3 hours over the course of 11 days. In terms of access to commissary, communication with the outside world, they haven't been given it. It's only us. So we're here. I'm right across the street, walk over to the jail. Both myself and co-counsel over here, we're going to see them twice a day, every day, check in on them. And, we're not going to disappear until the war has been won.
I can't believe this is legal. Has anyone tried suing this prison?
This prison's been sued. All you got to do is Google FDC Miami. It'll pop up all over.
Doing anything he can to try to make people feel bad instead of actually preparing a legal defense. Like, homie just needs to stop worrying about the attention and actually do his job. Because right now he appears to be Andrew Tate's biggest fucking enemy. And his only other argument right now, or other thing he's trying to really push, is that the Tate's lives are also just really in danger, and he's worried about them being Epsteined. But if he was so worried, maybe he wouldn't be doing all of this dumb shit and wouldn't be trying to get them out the shoe, and instead would want them to be there because that's probably the safest place for them right now.
And that you can't put anything past these people. That's my words. I'm not going to put them in your mouth, of course. How concerned are you, if I can be blunt, that there's going to be some kind of Epstein situation?
I'm very concerned. That's why we go to see them every day. There hasn't been a day that we haven't gone to the jail and not seen them. There was one day where we went to the jail where the guard, I went at night, and for whatever reason, he didn't like my jacket. So I got into it with him. Like, you don't like my jacket? Like,
what do you mean? What he say?
I had like a zip up on with my shirt tied underneath. He's like, oh, you can't wear that jacket. I was like, I wore it last night. He's like, nah, not tonight, not on my watch, So, as a matter of fact, I don't like your pants either. Those pants ain't going to work, because I was going to put my jacket in the locker. Bro, this happens all the time in jails, right? So I said, okay, you know what? I'll see you tomorrow. No problem. What's your name? Why you want to know my name? Because I'm going to go back and I'm going to put it in my motion. I'm going to let the judge know, how nice you are. So got his name, went back, came the next day, and then they shut the jail down. 9 o'clock in the morning, come back at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock, I go back, I get online, and then I hear McBride. So I go in, take my shoes off, my stuff through. The whole process is very dehumanizing. It's designed to show you who's in control, even for lawyers. So I go through, I'm getting ready to go through, and they go, no, not him. I said, what do you mean, not me? He goes, as a matter of fact, jail shut down again. Come back at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So I went outside and made a video that was circulated all over the place. And I said, my clients are inside. We go every day to obtain proof of life. People are calling them Epstein. They're calling them to their murder and death. We haven't obtained proof of life. We don't know if they're alive, what's going on in there. But I'm making a record about it now in case something happens. So we got to see them the next day. But we are that, I am that concerned that the first thing I did was I walked outside, said, Thomas, turn the camera on. Here's my phone. I stood up right there and I said, this is the situation. And we'll do that to them every time, because we know we 100% believe that their life is in danger. We 100% believe that if they give them the chance, that they'll snuff them out. So we're doing everything that we can do within our power to make sure that that does not happen.
And even when he's talking about this, something that he's supposed to care about a lot, them possibly being at risk of being murdered, he can't help but to start talking about himself and talking about the security guard that pissed him off. Like, this security guard must have left such an impression on this man that he is just living rent-free in his damn head. And it just makes me think that in his mind, this is even more about him and less about them. But despite, going on that monologue about himself, he made damn sure to really push this point home. And it's just so pathetic that this is the point we're at, where this is basically the only thing he can do.
Sometimes they catch you with a bullet. Other times they make your plane drop out of the sky. This time, this is what they're doing to them. Andrew's been on the record for a long time saying that England is coming, and, this is what they're doing, and they have a plan, and, I'll never kill myself. So here we are. We go to see them. We like I said before, we have cameras in the room, so we have these meetings with them, and we're not talking about anything substantive because we can't. But we're there to number one, obtain proof of life, because every time somebody calls them Epstein, they're also calling for their death. And number two, to make sure that they're psychologically, emotionally okay.
And yeah, on that note, I think this is where we're going to end this one, because I can't take much more of this guy. I don't know how Andrew did it. I don't know where he found him or what he did to do this, but he somehow found a lawyer that is as much of a jackass as he is when he gets in front of a mic. But with that said, that's enough for one day. So if you enjoyed, please drop the sub and the like and join the Saints Mafia, where we are flaming all of these alpha male lolcows. And I'm out, watching the Taints have their audience come to their rescue in peace.
I can't imagine what it's like to go from a yacht with supermodels and, going into to commentate on a nationally televised event to being locked up, where you're at. It's horrible.